Well, here we are. We're at Kananaskis country, Alberta, Canada. We're about to hike in this week to height of the Rockies Provincial Park and then Banff National Park and then back into BC again. I'm here with my buddies John, and I'll let you figure it out. The weather looks great. Hopefully Mother Nature will cooperate for us, and yeah, it should be a great hike. I got the goofy hat on. We just crossed that creek back there and came up on a younger couple, and they saw Mama Grizzly with 3 cubs on the trail in front of them. Saw the cubs first, stopped and retreated, let them get away, and then they waited for anybody to come along. We came along next and they've asked to join us, so we're enjoying the walk with them right now. And yo, bear! Yelling out the bear warnings. Anybody need some landscaping rocks? So, I guess we're going up there.
Oh my God.
So we're just about to tackle the head wall below Three Isle Lake. We've come up, this has been a climb. We've come up from the valley below.
I don't think you're supposed to use your hands, are you?
We've reached the northern end of Three Isle Lake, which seemed to only have 2 islands. So I'm not sure where the 3 Isle comes from, but still a beautiful place. We're just about to head up on the climb to South Kananaskis Pass. So we've reached South Kananaskis Pass. This is the BC-Alberta border. So we're about to step foot into British Columbia and height of the Rockies Provincial Park. We've got about 2 kilometers left before we reach Beatty Lake, and that's our campsite. Well, we've found hippies on a stick, better known as the Western Anemone.
Yes.
Anemone.
Western anemone.
Anemone. This is looking back at South Kananaskis Pass. Pretty nice. Nice time of day. It's just before 7 o'clock. We didn't get started at the trailhead till just after 12:30, so got a late start. This is Beatty Lake at sunset, and we're about to call it a day. Had some pizza for supper on the Outback oven, turned out okay. This hike, I had a rough day. This hike almost didn't happen. Yesterday I was mowing my lawn, and all of a sudden I had a colossal nosebleed just gushing out of my nose, out of my left nostril, and then the right nostril started bleeding as well. I ended up in the hospital for about 2 hours. And it took 2 hours for them to stop it, and probably the worst nosebleed I've had. I think the problem today was I didn't have enough food, didn't eat enough, didn't have the appetite for it. So it was a pretty tough day, but I think about 16 or 17K into the lake. Beautiful, beautiful hike. Up on the, across the head wall below Three Isle Lake and then along Three Isle Lake. So we stopped at Forks Campground for a bit of a break. We stopped at Three Isle Lake for water, and then cruised over South Kananaskis Pass to Beatty Lake, where we are tonight. Tomorrow we have a shorter day, so we're going to sleep in a bit. Should be interesting tomorrow. I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be a really challenging day. So we'll see you in the morning. Good morning, it's day 2, and we're looking at Beatty Mountain. So this morning we're going to go past the edge of the lake over there and then go down a steep rock gully and then across a scree slope that comes down from Beatty. Then we're going to contour around Beatty and then bushwhack down to Beatty Creek, ford that, go down to the Palliser River, ford that, go up along the Palliser River, ford it again, and then find a campsite for tonight. We can random camp. We're in height of the Rockies Provincial Park, so there's no designated campsites in that area along the Palliser. So we'll find a site and pitch the tents. I just thought I'd show you around the campsite before we pack up. So John's making pancakes and sausages. John with no H is over there. There's the food locker. So there's 4 campsites, 4 tent pads I should say. And so there's 4 food lockers. This is the trail to where we set up tent last night. There's the trail over there to the outhouse. Looks relatively new, the outhouse. So I'm not sure when they put it in. This is John with no H. His tent area. He's all packed up. And there's only 4 tent pads here. 2 of them were already occupied when we got here, so John has his lunar duo tent, so he and I decided to share number 4, and here's the tent here. We're just starting down the gully now, and once we reach the bottom of the rock we'll go across that scree slope. We'll angle around to the right at the base of the rock coming down from Beatty Mountain. We just saw either an elk or a deer a couple 100 yards ahead of us, so we'll check that out. Looking back up at John with no H, where we've come down from. We're still following this gully. There's a cairn up ahead, so that's always good. And we got a steeper gully here in a minute or 2, I think. And then we'll tackle the scree slope. Well, we've reached the scree below Beatty Mountain, so we're just about to contour across the scree slope. You can see the trail. We're aiming for that single tree over there. And then over the other side of that wooded ridge and below would be the Palliser River. Aurora Creek is around to the north, around the other side of this mountain. We heard, and now we see, woody woodpecker, but he's pretty quiet right now. There he goes. This would be Aurora Creek, so now we just have to figure out how to cross it. We're now on the Great Divide Trail, heading down to ford the Palliser River, and here's a little sign of some animals that frequent the forest. This one isn't too bad. I expected this to be deeper. This is the Palliser River. It's a major river, but it's yeah, it's just cold. If you're going to be a grizzly bear, this is a great place to be a grizzly bear. So this is our first good view of what we're looking at later today and tomorrow morning. This is Palliser Pass up above John and a little bit to his left. And we'll be going up over that tomorrow morning. So somewhere just up ahead, we're going to ford the Palliser River again and go over to the right, to the east side, and from there we'll continue up through the trees and find somewhere to camp.
Yay! Crossing number 3 successful.
That is cool.
Yeah.
That is cool. So this is the little unnamed pond below Palliser Pass, which we'll climb over tomorrow, and this is where we're camping tonight. We're with a few GDT thru hikers. Tyler's here and a couple of other gentlemen, father and son, Ben and Dan. There won't be any campfires tonight. We're in height of the Rockies Provincial Park, which is still British Columbia, and there's a fire ban in BC, so no campfire tonight. And this is where my future wife and my uncle and I camped back in the early 80s on the way from Sunshine Village to Kananaskis Lakes. So this spot brings back memories. Any comments about the trail?
Unexpectedly steep.
The last portion.
The last couple kilometers, yeah.
Overall, very good though. Trail conditions is overall very, very good.
This is dinner tonight. Dinner is spaghetti with meatballs and sauce, and we're looking forward to that. Well, we're going to call it a wrap on day 2 at 9 o'clock, and the mosquitoes are brutal out here. The thru hikers gave up probably an hour ago. They're safely ensconced in their tents, so we're going to do the same in ours. So we'll see you in the morning. Good morning, it's day 3 and we're just about to head out of Mosquito Lake, Mosquito Pond, Mosquito Creek. Anyway, beautiful spot, but yeah, the mosquitoes are brutal. And the little flies are amazing. They like to, they seem to be attracted to John's yellow shirt and anything yellow, the yellow bag that we had out here on the ground. We were just coming up a little tough, steep section there and took a break, took a nice break. We met a couple of people coming down, Janet and Dan. And
Hardcore.
they're out for I think 16 days, they said. This is Palliser Lake and we're still below the true Palliser Pass. We're not quite there yet. We're just arriving at Palliser Pass. This is the southernmost part of Banff National Park. It's also the border between Banff National Park and height of the Rockies Provincial Park, which we're just leaving. And it's also the border of Alberta and British Columbia. I took video of that frog, and while I'm taking the video I got 3 horsefly bites. And I guess, well, it's a horse trail too, so good thing about them is they're so big and slow that you do have time to kill them. We're continuing through the Spray Valley. This is one long valley. Really, really flat. Way up ahead you can see a warden's cabin. The smoke, the forest fire smoke seems to be getting a little bit worse. Other than that, it's a beautiful day. I think the forecast today was 28 Celsius. So, I don't know what that'd be, about 80 Fahrenheit. Nice day. This is the warden cabin along the Spray River. So we're just passing by now. And very shortly we're going to be, just a few more minutes, we're going to be at the campsite, Birdwood Creek campsite. Had a great day. Really flat the last bit. Had a really enjoyable lunch stop back by the Spray River. Birdhouse or trail cam. So this is Birdwood campsite, Upper Spray 15, and this is the campground layout. There's no tent pads per se, it's just pitch your tent on in the area of the numbers. There's no nearby water source other than the Spray River. There's no path marked over to the Spray. This is all heavy bush and trees. We went back 600 meters and got water from the creek there. It's disappointing. I mean, I camped here 39 years ago with my future wife and an uncle, and I don't remember this campsite at all. We're going to stay here tonight, and then we'll probably have an early morning tomorrow and see if we're going to hike all the way out tomorrow. Well, good morning. Day 4. We're gonna see how long this day is gonna be. The original plan was to hike 25 kilometers, or I don't know, 16 miles or so, to Palliser Pass and Aurora Lake and camp there tonight, and then hike down to John's truck tomorrow morning. But we're hoping to hike the whole way out tonight. So about 32 kilometers or about 20 miles today. So we'll see how our day goes. We're up at 6 o'clock. Hope to be on the trail by 7:30, just finishing breakfast, and then we'll get going. Here's our first trail sign of the day. So we're heading to the Junction Bryant Creek, 6.8 K. We're just cruising along the Spray River now, a lot wider than it was in the past, and it's a pretty good trail through here. Good walking. We figure we're probably averaging right now about 4K an hour, about 2.5 miles an hour. That's kind of the pace that we want to set today. We would like to, I think all three of us would like to make it out to the truck tonight. We'll just see how it goes this afternoon. We have a climb up to Owl Lake and then a further climb up to Palliser Pass. So this would be the Wattridge Lake Junction, or Waitridge, I'm not sure how you say that. From what I remember hiking in the 80s, from Sunshine Meadows to Kananaskis Lakes, this is like a super highway. So this is the last we'll see of the Spray River. The Spray River heads away from me towards the Spray Lake Reservoir. Just a gentle reminder of what's out there. So this sign is the first indication of Owl Lake, which is where we're headed this afternoon. So we have 5.2 kilometers, just over 3 miles, and we should be there, we figure, by about 12:30, maybe lunch near there somewhere, and then we'll continue up to Owl Lake and beyond to Palliser Pass.
Good morning.
I just wanted to talk about my hiking videos, or not talk. You won't see my ugly mug on the videos a lot. You don't need to see it. And you're not going to hear my voice in every scene. I'm out here to experience it. And that's what I want you to do. I want you to experience what I do, what I see, what I hear. You don't need voiceover all the time. Some people, you know, they do hiking videos and their face is in the camera all the time, or they're talking all the time, and I just don't want to do that. I want to let you guys see what it's all about. Absolutely beautiful country out here. The hikes we do are through some spectacular areas, and I want you to see that. We're just passing by Big Springs campsite, BR9, and hey look, there's water right beside the campsite. Nice. We're gonna stop here and just take a short water break and then we'll continue. Well, we've reached the junction to Owl Lake. Now we're going to follow the trail down to Bryant Creek and over that. Maybe stop there for lunch. And then head up to Owl Lake. And above that, Marvel Pass. Well, this is Bryant Creek, the bridge over Bryant Creek. So I think we're going to stop here. Maybe have a lunch break. And then we will continue up to Owl Lake. More landscaping supplies. We've arrived at the junction down to Owl Lake, so we're just going to take another short break there. And then we will continue on. So over there on the far side of the lake, you can see the trail that we'll take to Marvel Pass. And it seems to be getting smokier by the minute here. So Marvel Pass is beyond the end of the lake and up and around to the right. And then we'll head down into British Columbia, or we'll make the decision actually at Marvel Pass if we want to camp there tonight. That would be a loon that we just heard. Okay, that is a lie. We think it's a typo. We figure more like 0.4 kilometers over there. As the crow flies, or as the GPS measures, it's 300 meters in a straight line. So, and it's not an easy trail. It's up and then it's down through a whole bunch of willows. Great spot, but yeah, that's a lie. This is amazing. Just to think how many years these logs have been here. We're still chugging along above the north shore of Owl Lake. I did a face plant back there. My left foot, I stepped where I thought was trail and wasn't. And hard to see back there in the brush. So I landed face first on a bush. Well, that's the last we'll see of Owl Lake. That was a nice walk. Next up is the climb up to Marvel Pass. This is Owl Creek, and yeah, just a beautiful area here. The trail's been good. It's been really good. It's petering out a little bit, but still good. We're still climbing to Marvel Pass. We're on a slope way above the Owl Creek drainage, and here's some grizzly bear diggings. This is an avalanche slope, so it's prime grizzly habitat. We are still climbing. We're way above Owl Creek down below. Great view. Well, we've reached Marvel Pass, 2,180 meters. That was a climb. We only got lost once. Well, 3-4 times. This is, I think, technically the border of Banff National Park and British Columbia. So Alberta and British Columbia. We thought Aurora Lake was in Banff, Alberta. We should have passed the lake because we're now standing at the border of Banff and British Columbia, so we're not quite sure yet what's going on. So we came down from Palliser Pass, which is in the trees there. We've come down from there, and this is Aurora Lake, also known as Cabin Lake, and this is apparently still in Banff National Park. There is the old cabin at Aurora Lake. We're going to take another rest break, have something to eat, and then we're going to head down Aurora Creek to the truck. This log cabin sits on the lake's north shore, and it was constructed by a couple of Alberta residents in the 1960s, believing the site to be British Columbia Crown land. And the federal government, I guess, said, no, I don't think so. Neat spot, really, really close to the lake. One last look at Aurora Lake on our way out. Beautiful, beautiful spot. Would have been nice to have a swim there in front of the cabin. We just don't have the time today. And just below that official boundary sign is this one. Just below Palliser Pass, this is a meadow that we had learned about from a couple of hikers that were out, husband and wife, out on a 16-day jaunt. And they had come in from Aurora Creek, and they camped here. Said it was a great spot for the night. Apparently the flowers are much better in British Columbia. This is Brusselhof up above us. And over there is Alcantara. Pretty impressive mountains, beautiful area. This is one nice valley. And kind of a rock garden here, and a little stream coming through. Nice. We're just passing through a bunch of larch trees. Here's a cute little guy. And so these guys turn a beautiful shade of gold, oranges, browns in the fall. And then the needles drop off, and they regenerate needles every year in the spring. Far below us is Aurora Creek, glistening in the sunlight through the smoke and the haze. Well, there is the truck. It's been a long day. This was 34 kilometers today, so I don't know, 22 miles, and a lot of up and a lot of down. And a lot of rock, so the feet are pretty sore. The beer is going to taste really good. We have to get the chicken wire off from around the truck because of the porcupines. They like to get underneath and chew at whatever they can find.
So this is stick to the left. And we hope for the best.
We always hope for the best.
Oh,
yeehaw!
Oh, we did it.
8 seconds, we made her. And then John had a little surprise.
I was the last one in the group, and she stopped me and said, John, do you know Jesus? And she actually had a pamphlet for me. So,
Kidding.
just kidding, yeah.
We're just passing by a We're just passing by a Big Springs campsite.